Hey, Colin here. I'm on a trail on the east side of Haskell. And I just thought I'd get out today and kind of tell you a bit of history about my school days back in the early 90s. Now you have to picture this area here about 9 or 10 o'clock at night or after dark. This used to be the spot for all the students to party after classes on the weekends, or sometimes even during the week. But you have to picture probably a couple hundred people lined up and down this road, cases of beer, people playing music on their boom boxes, or you might even walk by somebody and they'll have a little drum. They was having a little, a drum singing meeting, native music. But that was, if you can picture that, this was the party spot back then, but not anymore. It's turned into sort of a nature hiking, biking trail, so people don't come here very often anymore like we used to back then. Now walking this direction, here's another part of the story. It was probably back in 1991. I and a friend of mine, his name was Peter Buck, we just happened to come down here probably during the week. There was nobody on this trail because it wasn't the weekend, and we came down here with a couple of 40-ounce bottles of beer. We were gonna have a couple drinks and smoke and just do our usual visiting things, because us native people, or a lot of us, we like to be outside in nature or whatever. But we were walking this way. It's probably about 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and as we approached a little closer this direction, I don't know if you can see it, there's a light pole right here, and right about here there was a guy standing. He was wearing a trench coat, a cowboy hat, and cowboy boots. He had really frizzy hair, stuck out all over the place, and it was late at night, and we was like, what's he doing standing there? And we were walking this way. There used to be there's a light up on top of this pole, so you could just see him standing there. And we got closer and closer, and we got here. He's like, hey, what's up? Bro, and all that. Did the old brotherhood handshake and all that stuff. But that just happened to be my first encounter with my friend, one of my best friends, JoJo. And we met right here, 1991, on this roadway here, which I believe probably a long time ago used to be a railroad tracks, and they sort of graveled over the whole thing. Anyway, that was my first meeting with him, and since then he's passed away last summer, and this is actually my first time back over here since back then, I would say. Well, I might have been here once or twice sometime, but I can't remember at the moment. But through the trees over here is Haskell. At one time they took out they came in here and buzzed out all of the shrubbery and stuff because they didn't want people back here partying, smoking dope or whatever we were doing back then. But as far as the music goes, probably about that time, 1991, we were listening to things like this. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 2. I just brought that as an example. We were listening to cassette tapes back in those days on our Walkmans. They were portable. I just brought this as an example. That this was out around then. usually you're losing 1 and 2, I guess. But besides that, I guess the music I could think of that we listened to back then was Pearl Jam, Nirvana. You know, that when that whole grunge scene was starting to break. And that's another story. I first seen Pearl Jam up at KU on the hill, and it was free concerts before they got all famous. But you know, I remember Eddie Vedder climbing up on the scaffolding way up at the top, and he'd make his giant mosh pit dive. Also, right here, there's a puddle here. You probably can't see all the bugs flying around it. There used to be a bridge right here. It wasn't this road. There was a bridge, like a wooden bridge right in the middle of the spot. And we'd all stand on this bridge. They called it the bridge back in those days, the students then. But anyway, you know, we carved our names into the bridge. We went down, spray painted and graffiti and stuff at the bottom. But since then, they've taken the bridge out, but there's still moisture in this area, as you can tell by all the bugs and stuff kind of hanging out in this area. But I guess I'll head back. This is kind of going to be my new little video thing for the summer. I just wanted to get outside and do something different, you know, talk about friends or music, how I might have came upon some music back in those days. I'm just going to be jumping around from different years. This one's the early 90s. You know, the next one could be the 70s in grade school or something. But I just thought I would take you on my, I don't know what to call this little series of records on the road. On the road with records, or music on the road, music memories, something. If you have an idea, you know, put them in the comments below of what maybe I could call this. Oh, I hear there's some type of varmints in there. Well, there's a bunch of cows on the other side over there. But thanks for walking along with me. Colin, hey, walking along with me? I don't know. Something to that nature. Over and out.